is Tiffany Davenport, and thank you for tuning in to Small Expression, where kids have a very powerful voice. Today I have with me a phenomenal woman. She's an advocate against gun violence. She's an author, she's a mentor, she's also an entrepreneur, she's many things. Miss Loretta Baby Lo Parson, welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you all for having me here.
How are you doing today?
I am doing just fine.
Good.
I am.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Again, I am Loretta. I am an entrepreneur. I am the owner of Bright Beginnings Child Care Center.
Okay.
I'm a
Bright Beginnings?
Yes.
Okay.
I am co-author of 8 children's books.
Oh my goodness.
The Leah and Rob series.
Wow.
Very exciting. I'm a founder of 2 organizations.
Okay.
One is a women's organization called The Diamonds. We go out, we mentor all over the city. We're actually in 3 cities now, Nashville,
Awesome.
Memphis, and Dallas. I'm also the founder of Loving Life.
Loving Life.
Nonprofit.
Okay.
And what we do is we out doing the same thing, almost as The Diamonds, but we have sponsors. I have partnered with other nonprofits, and we're here fighting gun violence now.
Fighting gun violence.
Yes.
How did you get to be on the front lines of fighting gun violence? It's so prevalent in the news right now. It's been a lot going on in the media. It's a heated topic right now. Were you always kind of in this arena, or is this something new for you?
Well, it's definitely something new. I have actually been out, just, you know, inner city, urban, everything, just kind of trying to get kids to go and do the right things. So I've been doing this for more than 20 years.
Okay.
But my life changed on March 30th of 2014.
Okay.
I was headed to one of my organization meetings on a Sunday. It was 2:57 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Beautiful day.
Beautiful day.
And I really just got back in town the night before from speaking with some teens at a college at Dalton State.
Okay.
And I decided at the very last minute I was going to go to a meeting. They didn't even know I was back in town. Well, on my way there, I decided to take a shortcut down the street. And as I was coming down the street, I was, you know, talking to my son on the phone. He was away at school, still is. And we hung up. And I was just driving. Good day, music playing. And the car jerked really hard. And I was thinking, wow, why don't they just fix the potholes?
Okay.
So maybe about 5 seconds later, I looked down at my leg and I noticed I had 2 big holes in my leg.
Oh my goodness.
And I looked at the car door and there was a big hole in the car door, and immediately I realized I had just been shot. So I kind of went in survival mode. I didn't panic at that time.
No initial panic or pain. Did you see the shooter at that time?
I didn't see anybody. I was coming down Green Lane, which is right off of Whites Creek Pike, taking a shortcut, trying to get to Brick Church Pike. And when I passed one street to the left, I seen like a girl and a boy, but just vaguely. I don't know how they look or anything. But as soon as I passed the street, that's when I noticed the car jerked. And I didn't know what was going on, but when I seen the holes in my leg, I knew that I had been shot.
Oh my goodness.
So, you know, just kind of kept driving until I seen somebody. The news had it that, you know, one of the neighbors said, yeah, I heard her blowing a horn. I think that was me. I started blowing my horn because nobody was out. Then finally, I turned left on Night Lane, put me in front of Kip Academy, the old UM Park Junior High School, and the nursing home. And when I did stop, everybody started running out. And I was kind of in and out at that time.
When you finally realized that you had been shot, I'm sure they took you to the hospital and you spent some time in reflection. Were you angry? What was your first emotional reaction to, that's traumatic? I'm sure
it was traumatic. I think when it happened, of course, I'm just thinking about what happened. So wasn't reflected at all.
Okay.
And then once I...
Because you're in survival mode.
I'm in survival mode.
You took a shortcut. You weren't even supposed to be on that street.
I wasn't. But, you know, I do know this now. And I tell everybody, I do know and think that bullet was for me.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't think, you know, going down either whatever street, I think at that moment, because all the work I've been doing and what I've been doing, I think it was like, for me, God said, it's time to take you to another level. And he put me in the line of fire. and it's unfortunately that we have to do that, but sometimes it takes something.
Sometimes it takes to experience a thing to be so powerful in your movement.
And that is what happened.
Wow.
But I didn't reflect, really, I did not reflect. The next day I had to have emergency surgery. So when I got out, only thing I was thinking about was work.
Yeah.
I was like calling my son, could you bring this? And I was like this, kind of like fading in and out. Only thing I thought about now is time to go to work.
Okay.
Immediately, I was thinking, oh my God, it's time to go to work. Bring my laptop up here, I have to work.
While still in the hospital.
I just got out of surgery.
That is amazing.
It was. So I did not have time to reflect at that time. But when I did, I wasn't mad.
Okay.
And I was not angry.
Did you know anything at this point about the shooter?
I did not know.
Okay. How long did it take before you got any of those details?
Well, it's amazing that detectives they were on the job immediately.
Okay.
The streets told me everything.
Interesting.
And, you know.
The streets.
The streets. And when I say that, people in the streets.
They know first, don't they?
Not only do they know first, for me, the detectives was, and not trying to say anything about the system, but they were asking me. Do you know who could have done this to you? No? It's random.
Yeah.
And of course, this is protocol, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But even weeks later, they were asking me. And then I was telling them things that I was hearing, but they were like, well, can you find out who did this? And I'm thinking, are you serious? So everything I know came from people in the streets saying, you know, I heard it was this guy, or I know somebody who's seen the guy. And to my knowledge, it was a 15-year-old teen boy. And I was like the 9th car that had been shot that day.
Oh my goodness.
And the lady who actually stopped me.
So he was just
in the bushes shooting at all the cars coming down the street. The lady who actually stopped me said that her car had been shot the day before. So nobody, I guess, was reporting this, because I'm assuming if it had been reported, maybe the police would have been maybe driving up and down the street.
Looking
so I'm assuming
for
nobody. A FedEx truck, because you know the FedEx Corporation is over there. Maybe a FedEx truck had been shot. No sound of nobody mention it or call the police.
So you were the only one that actually got hit by a bullet?
I was the only one that actually got hit. And the bullet came through the car. I think the bullet hit their cars, but they were not affected by it. So.
How's your family dealt with it? And how do they feel about you advocating against gun violence? How do they feel about your work? Are they supportive of it? Do they share the same passion since mom has gone through it or daughter has gone through it as you do? Or are they kind of like, we don't want you to have anything to do with guns. We want you to stay away. Somebody might get mad.
I think that my son is 100% on board. He's my only child, so.
How old is your son?
He's 23. He'll be 24 in June. And he is like, Mama, do it. You know,
awesome.
Yes, he was at, we did a little commercial, and it was the first time me going back to the site like a month ago. I had never been. And my child care center is literally like 3-4 minutes down the street from it. So he is like, whatever you need to do, Mom, you need to do it. And then sometimes, you know, because I'm an advocate and because it happened, now I'm kind of everywhere. You know, people are pulling me, do this, will you come and speak here? So I'm kind of a lot of places. I'm knowing that I have to slow down, but my family is like, go for it. My mom, who I was very worried about, I'm the youngest of 5, and my mom, everybody, my sisters, my brother, everybody is super supportive of everything that I do and have done up to this point.
Awesome.
So they, you know, I do have friends and people like, well, maybe you shouldn't go over there. I am the one that is going back to the hood to ask, do you know who did this to me? I'm that person, because I guess maybe until it happens or until it hit close to home, it puts no more fear in you.
Yeah.
I've taken a bullet already.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you about that.
So now it's no fear.
You have reconciled it so wonderfully spiritually to say that, you know, God already knew the road that I was on.
Already knew.
This bullet had my name on it, and it was just to fuel me further into my destiny. I think that that's so awesome.
It is. I think that at 47 years old, who takes a bullet at 46? You know how you think, and you kind of sometimes think about how your life will be? Never in my wildest dreams did I think that.
Bullet in my late 40s.
Bullet in my 20s or 30s. I just never thought it would happen to me.
Right.
You know, but it just kind of opened me up to, you know what, nobody is excluded. As much work as I'm out here fighting, as much positive in everything I do in the community and in other cities, nobody would thought I would have been shot, not me.
And you're mature enough and have been and seen enough to have that transcendent moment. If it had happened in your 30s, who knows?
Exactly.
You know.
And I have actually sat with so many people and families who have lost loved ones to gun violence before it ever happened to me. So I've just kind of been in the line of fire, but not in the line of fire. And when I was, it's just viewed that it's no fear. Right now, I am ready to conquer the world. I think a lot needs to be done. I think a lot hasn't been done. I think a lot of people are scared, but it's now time.
Where do you start? And I was going to ask, how did you begin your journey with advocating for eradicating gun violence, and what's the road ahead?
Well, for me, I think 2 weeks later, once I did get out of the hospital, it took me almost 5 months to recover. And from the walker to crutches to hopping to limping to everything to
and
trying
you got your
to wear
heels on now. You go, girl.
I'm trying. You know, they said that, you know, a woman could deal with all kind of, hey, this is painful before the gunshot. You know, we were wearing because.
Right. But we can't do without them.
We can't do without them. So I have gone through these stages, but I think about 2 weeks later, I received a phone call from another organization who's fighting this battle. And from parents who have lost kids. Well, at that time, I knew I can't do everything because I was already busy. I had books that was about to be published, and my life was like I was just trying to carry on. So I didn't have time to deal with the fact I got shot. I have too much to do. I didn't deal with it.
You didn't deal with it. You didn't.
I didn't deal with it emotionally. I didn't deal with it other than physically. I didn't process it. I just kind of put it on the back burner. Okay, I got shot. Okay, I'm in a walker, but I have too much work to do. I don't have time to focus on who did it, why. I know now it's work to be done.
Did it strike you when you found out eventually that the shooter was a child, that he was 15 years old?
It did, and you know,
because you think about some big bad man hiding in the bushes, and if they're grown, it's not so bad, you know. But I don't know. It seems like it's different because this is this misguided. It's just a child just in the bushes shooting at people.
So, you know, I had to go back to my son being 15.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't want to hear this, but at 15, as parents, and I'm going to take it there, as a parent, and he was like right by his house, to my understanding.
Okay.
And so that means that gun was probably already in the home.
Yeah.
Well, for me, let me just talk about me and my 15-year-old.
And he had access to it on different days.
On different days. And however, when my son was 15, I knew everything that was in his room. You know why? Because it was my house. Nothing belongs to him. And I'm being honest. He could tell this story better than I can. He laughs at it today. But you don't shut doors in my house. You know, it was just. And it was the two of us. I co-parent. I don't call myself a single parent.
Which parents have that same attitude today? They need to be going through them cell phones, checking those Facebook accounts. I was
the person that did it all. Can you imagine a 15-year-old saying, "Get out of my drawer"?
No.
Get out of your. What? It happens. I just want you to know that it does happen. So, I think that. I was hurt that it was a 15-year-old, and I did have the detective ask me, now, if we catch him, what would you prosecute? I would not prosecute a 15-year-old. Now, what I would do is, and it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. Let's come up with some more solutions. Okay. And then I found out, as I'm on this journey, that it is solutions down there. They have them at the juvenile court system.
They do.
Let's come together and let's come up with a plan.
They're underutilized. It's easier to
They don't utilize them, period.
Yeah.
Almost don't even bring them up.
We don't know about them.
The first thing we think is, let's lock these kids up.
Yeah.
This is a 15-year-old. You're going to lock him up, and he's not going to do that much time. He's going to either, it's going to make it worse because he's going to be super angry in there. So when he come out, did you just take that gun out of his hand? You didn't.
No.
Chances are, did he get any rehab while he was there? Did he get any counseling? Chances he was kicked in the system
and they'll
with
do
a lot of
something else
others
to send them right back through that revolving door, which
Exactly.
eventually leads to prison once you turn 18.
Which eventually leads there. So my thing was, no, let's come up with a plan, and let's, you know, it has to be with a parent, and let's talk with both of them, because when a 15-year-old gets to that point, the parents need to be involved and maybe counseled as well.
What happened to that young man, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, the detectives called me about 2.5, 3 months later, another reason why I'm on this fight, and said, well, you know, we just don't have anybody that is willing to tell, talk, say anything, so we're going to suspend your case. We're talking 2.5 months later. So a person gets shot, and because you don't have, or nobody will actually, you know pretty much who the person is. You've gotten it, but because you can't get a physical person to say it was him, we suspended your case.
They never searched for the weapon, or?
I'm sure they probably did, and I did provide them with the bullet because it was launched still here in my leg. So when I had surgery, the doctor did remove it, so they did get the bullet.
Okay.
But it was a 9mm. We know that.
Okay.
Pretty big gun to take.
Absolutely.
So it was. They know that. But my thoughts were, you still know the kid's name. It's been consistent with everybody who has said it, and you suspend the case. Now it's time to fight. It's bigger now than just gun violence. It's the system we need to fight too, and I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
It's bigger. Now it's bigger than the kid that was doing the shooting. It's all about him. But now, I was a victim of random gun violence. Don't have any communication with the gang members other than speaking with them as I'm mentoring along the way, other than speaking to even girls who have been in gangs. But I personally have no affiliation. Nobody in my family that I know, and if they do, it's just never. And my family is like, just like I am. My mother, my aunts, everybody was the same way. Come here, babe, what you doing? Well, what is that? Come here, who are your friends? Where's their mom?
Absolutely.
I knew every last one of my son's friends, their parents, and that was me. You're not going over there. Okay, I need to meet his mom. Mama, I need to meet his mom. You don't. I mean, it is what it is. So now it's bigger than.
It is bigger because
it's about the
they're
system
so
too.
exposed. They see everything on Facebook. They see everything on the internet, and it's really a lot for parents to monitor nowadays. I mean, it's constant images. It's constant communication.
It's a fight.
It is.
And I'm not going to say it was easy.
You think video games got anything to do with this?
I think everything has something to do with this. You know, we have to even put it on. A lot of kids are not even financially, have not had, you know, experienced a lot of the games. It is really a community. And
a culture.
You know, and a culture. Most people say, well, if you grew up in it, you was raised in it, that's all you see. That's not. I don't believe in generational curses. I don't.
Okay.
They're there, and I know some traits do trickle. You know, so it carries down, but
I don't believe in curses.
I don't believe in curses. I don't.
No.
So when
I believe we make choices,
and
we have
them.
predispositions that we have learned.
I agree. But if I'm in a home and in a situation where I am depending on whomever, public assistance, it doesn't matter. Or if I'm working on a very good job or whatever, it's a lot of young people having kids. We make that the reason. We do.
Yeah.
How many times do you hear kids having kids?
Yeah.
What does that mean? I mean, what does it mean?
It means that they may have suffer from poverty. They're, you know, socioeconomic
so it goes
factors.
all back to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And you don't want to call them the underprivileged. You don't want to say, you don't want to label anybody, but it still goes back there. Have you had kids that grew up in very nice neighborhoods that was young, had kids? Of course you did.
Absolutely.
You have. So now it's about, as parents, at 15 and 16, we have to have programs designed to speak with these kids. I don't recall a lot of people being pregnant in school when I was there. Now?
Oh, well, yeah.
And I remember even like a year or two before I even got to high school, they had schools where if you got pregnant, you had to go to the school where everybody else was pregnant. You had to go to special
school, yeah.
So it's, I don't know. This fight is big, and
what can the communities and families do to be more proactive and be more vigilant in watching their children, making sure that this is not happening or something that's being contemplated in their home? Because it's more than what they're learning from other kids. It's more than what they're seeing on TV and in video games. It's really the foundation and the values that have been set and the respect that has been established in the home. What do you think is missing? What do you think is needed on that end?
I think parents need to go back to parenting.
And stop being a friend?
Stop being their friend. Do you know it's a lot of parents scared of their kids?
I can't imagine that, but...
It is. It's a lot of parents that scared of their kids. And let me tell you, it doesn't start as a 15-year-old. I own a child care center. It starts at 3 and 4 and 2. Mm-hmm. You start seeing at that age group, when you see children who using profanity, and I'm not saying just using it, I mean
it rolls off their tongue like please and thank you.
They know when to say it. Mm-hmm. They know what needs to go where.
They do.
And when you see little boys at 3 and 4 years old throwing up gang signs.
We can blame Lil Wayne for that.
Okay. I'm going to put that on TV. But when you see kids, 3 and 4 years olds, throwing up gang signs,
yeah,
and you know, doing all the movements, then let's take it to the little girls. When it's not cute to me to see a little girl twerk.
No, it's not
cute.
At 2 and 3
years. At 2 and 3, it's not to me. So at my child care center, and I'm only speaking for Loretta, Parson, and what goes on where, you know, at my center, we don't do that.
Okay, good.
We do not twerk. We don't get the opportunity to sing the rap songs and use all the words that are, we're not even talking about the radio version. We're talking about...
Nothing against Lil Wayne, but his music is for adults. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Children cannot synthesize all that sexuality and all of that vulgarity.
But for some reason, they are doing it.
Oh, yeah, because it's got a beat.
Moves,
and it's
major moves at 3 and 4. So it goes back to parenting. Mm-hmm. And you are correct. How many times do you hear parents say, I don't know where they got that from?
Did you ask them?
A lot of this didn't just happen when they left the house.
Right.
It's something either they had to see in the home,
yeah,
or just a lot of things we need to do different. What works
We got to tighten up. We got to watch them. We got to know what's going on nowadays.
We have to ask. We don't need to be afraid. I want to say to parents, get out there. Know who your kids are hanging with. Mm-hmm. If your child come in smelling like weed, are you serious? Baby, come here, over here. Mm-hmm. And
get all in their business.
And I was the real cool mother. Mm-hmm. I was the mother that all the kids on the basketball team wanted to stay over all weekends. During the week, between my son's father and I, we have bought a lot of gym shoes. We have did it all. Mm-hmm. We have had kids spend a night, no money. I have had kids spend a night for weeks at a time, and I've never seen their parents.
Oh,
never
weeks at a time.
Never talked to parents.
Okay, well that's another issue.
So it goes back to parenting.
Yeah,
knowing who your kid is with, and I'm calling, baby, call your mother, because I need to talk with her.
Oh, she didn't pick up.
So it goes back to all of that.
You've started a movement, a peace and love movement, and you've got a 3K coming up soon in June at Centennial Park. Tell me a little bit about that, what you hope to achieve from that, what the goal is, and where you want to move forward beyond that.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Well, we started with, it was just a vision. What is the one thing I really want to do with gun violence? Mm-hmm. I can't do everything.
Okay.
And I know I've been asked, I could come and speak, I could come and interview, I could do that, but I can't put my hand with what everybody has. So how about we bring everybody together who's fighting the same fight? Mm-hmm. So I have teamed with Avery Patton with the Dirty Dozen. I have also teamed with Dantrell McWilliams, who's with Playmakers. Those are nonprofits. They've been out here for 20-plus years fighting the same fight.
Okay.
So we decided to come together, and I was like, just like, guys, this is what I'm thinking. let's have a walk against gun violence. And they were like, oh, yeah, yeah, you know, they were just like excited about it. So peace and love, love is everything that I ever use. It just always. A lot of people call me Baby Love. I have a talk show that's called the Be Love Lounge. Love has been my trademark. It's like a brand that I've been using for years. So I went to a mentor, my business partner. I was like, I need a name that's going to be relevant. And he was like, instantly, what about peace and love? And I thought, that's awesome. So to bring that together, you know, we have enough people mad. We want to go in the neighborhoods and lose it. We need to go and talk to them. Well, if we go into these neighborhoods and bring peace, isn't that amazing if you could walk up to a group of guys, teens on the corner, and you coming with peace? You're not coming. I'm not coming with, look, I got shot. Do y'all? I'm not going to even.
They can't receive that.
They won't receive it.
Yeah.
These kids are very.
And they want love anyway. They're looking for it. They're so thirsty for it.
They're seeking it. They are seeking it. So the purpose for us is to come with peace.
Okay.
And come with love. We think we could reach more people than coming on a platform just pounding. We need to. That is not the answer.
Right.
We will not reach our teams.
You want to neutralize the negativity
want to neutralize
with positivity.
We want to let them feel at ease, and not only make them feel good, we want to actually let them know we are here.
Awesome.
And we are not going anywhere. If you need to talk, we are here.
What an awesome testimony and just calling that you have on your life.
God gets all
the glory.
All of the glory. I am really here just doing His will and His purpose. And at 47, I now know what my purpose is.
Awesome.
And this is my purpose. I don't care if I save one or if I save 30. If I save hundreds, whoa. But if I have just pulled one and took a gun out of one hand, then my purpose is fulfilled. So I'm fighting. You'll see more of me. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be everywhere. Neighborhoods, we're going to be everywhere.
Awesome. Well, you have a lot that you're doing, a lot under one, a big umbrella that impacts so many different people. Thank you for sharing with us, and I'm so happy to see that something so traumatic has changed you and just elevated you to such a level.
But thanks for having me here.
You're welcome.
This has been awesome, and hey, I came to the right place to talk about it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you all so much for tuning in to Small Expression, where kids have a very powerful voice. We'll see you next time.